As we've been hearing there, the caretaker Prime Minister Anwar al-Haq Kakur has been summoned back to Pakistan in light of ongoing events. And the Foreign Minister, who's in Uganda, he's also been sent back. There's a special national security meeting that's been organised for Friday, so that's what they're heading back for. And here in Davos, it's really highlighting what many delegates here have been talking about this myriad of geopolitical risks that have been overshadowing economic optimism. We heard from China that the economy's growing. The US seems to be heading for a soft landing. Inflation seems to be being reined in a little bit. So there should be a lot of talk about economic optimism, except what they're focusing on here are those geopolitical risks, this being a case in point. We've got wars taking place in Europe, in Africa, in the Middle East. We're on the cusp of another global shipping crisis with the Houthi rebel attacks in the Red Sea, with climate change impacts in the Panama Canal. And all of this is having a huge effect on what's going on with policy making, especially, Robin, in such an important election year.
And Juliet, we've heard from the Israeli president, who's delivered an address defending his country's military operation in Gaza.
Yes, we have. Israel's President Yitzhak Herzog gave a speech in the Congress Hall. He called for a very strong coalition to come together to face Iran and its proxies, which he called an empire of evil. He called on those at Davos and indeed the entire universe, in fact, to work endlessly to release the hostages that are still being held. And he said, in addition to that, he wanted to have a better future for Palestinians. He said, we are all neighbours. He was very scathing, though, too, about the case that's taking place against Israel at the International Court of Justice.
It's a game of hypocrisy that South Africa is using the Convention Against Genocide, which was brought and enacted by the International Family of Nations following the worst atrocity of humankind, which is the Holocaust against the Jews in World War II, against the State of Israel, which is a nation state of the Jewish people defending itself under international law. I call upon the entire international community to stand with Israel and reject this claim.
Herzog also said that a key element of ending the war with Hamas would be a normalising of ties between Israel and Saudi Arabia. And he said, Robin, that if that happened, it could be a game changer, not for just what's happening in Gaza, but for the entire Middle East.